Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the In Game Podcast. I'm Coach Lynch, and today, guess what, y'all? I got the homies with me. What up, y'all?
What's up, man? I'm Rod Brown.
I'm Jerome Myers.
Y'all know what it is, man. Y'all act like I had somebody new with me, man. It's gang. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Gang.
Always in the building, man. So look, check it out real quick, man. How y'all feeling?
Feel good, man. I feel good today. Yesterday was a struggle. I was day 2 of this 3-day water fast, and I was a little hangry, so I had to put myself in isolation like I had COVID or something. But it
solitary confinement, man.
Solitary confinement. Yeah. But it was good for me and good for the rest of the people around me. So it was good. But I feel great today. I got to do it.
Just be hanging around you, or your attitude was good for them?
Me being in solitary confinement was good.
At home.
Yeah. Being at home, but being like out of the room, like not. I mean, literally, I didn't see Riley all day long, like in the same house. Yeah. She didn't go anywhere. Yeah. So yeah,
you got a pretty big house though.
You can get. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. So yeah. So that's it, man.
Wing. Was she in the West Wing?
She was in her cave, as she calls it. So she was in her cave most of the day. So, but yeah, man. But thank God we get to reset, man. We get to go to sleep and wake up and do it all over again. So that's the blessing in all of it. And there was a lesson in all of it. So it's all good. How about you, Jerome? What's happening?
What's going on? Man, I woke up with metal in my mouth, man. Felt like I went back to the front.
We need some explanation.
Had some fronts, man.
Explanation on that.
You know, when you get deep into the fast, 24 hours in or so, you start to have autophagy happen, and when autophagy is happening,
big word,
hey, we use the vocabulary words. Vocabulary words.
Man, I went to public school. What's that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah, you gotta go to the fitness expert to find out what those words mean.
Well,
man.
Basically, it's when your body takes cells that they're damaged or haven't been working right or whatever, and they start to kind of regenerate them, get rid of them, and reprocess them and stuff like that.
Nice.
So it's like a recycling process that goes on.
Now I don't know why it tastes like metal, but I had a metal taste in my mouth. And so we 36 hours in, we're doing the HIIT workout at the 5 a.m. And I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. He's like, just pace yourself. Just make sure you're good. 450 calories later, we're still standing.
Straight. That's what I'm talking about.
How about this morning, though? Because this morning was, it was heavy lifting heavy weights. How you feel this morning? Did you feel like weaker or?
100%.
Yeah.
Endurance is down.
Yeah.
All of the above.
Right.
But I mean, that's a part of the process.
Got it.
Now, most people just shut it all the way down, right? They don't do anything. Right? They just
it's written like, if you're doing like a water fast. For those of y'all who don't know, we're on 3-day water fast, and we're doing this stuff together, man, just building our bonds and stuff like that. So, going through challenges, the Masogi, together and stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys, man. If I ain't never told y'all face to face, man, I appreciate the fact that, we got each other's back, and we go through things and call on each other and pick each other's brains and ask each other questions, be a little vulnerable with each other and things like that. So I appreciate the space.
Speaking of questions.
Yeah.
How is Shannon Sharp going to monetize 40 million views? Because I feel like it was a waste.
I think it was what part?
I think the attention crashed on the beach, and he wasn't prepared for it. And I don't think he's going to take advantage of the fact that many eyeballs is on this podcast.
So I don't know what his inventory looked like with the cognac that he offers, but that sold out. I don't know if he's in partnership with Chad Ochocinco on Chad's cigar line, but that sold out.
As a result of that interview?
As a result of that, yeah, and the views that they're getting now, yeah. Because he went on to say, he talked about it, and plus they were really good about pulling like micros out and because they had those sure. Like, because I think L, you said you just looked at the micros.
I looked at the micros first. I watched it when I took down the Christmas tree.
But there were so many micros there that it was easy to kind of digest the thing. But just
I got enough of the interview that what I'm saying. Like I didn't really have to watch the whole thing.
But they spent a lot of time because they were drinking on the show, drinking the cognac, and they actually had one bottle to drink and then one bottle to kind of show or display. Yeah, but they ended up. Cat just like grabbed the other one. It was like, so they drank 2 bottles. They were drinking out of 2 bottles. I don't know if they completed both of them, but so the cognac was definitely, poignant on there. And then he talked about it. I think
product placement.
Yeah, product placement, and then I think he did an ask to tell people to go. Like he did an ad during the.
Well, he has
thing.
a couple ads running during the thing. So I mean, if you don't have a product or a service or multiple, then you won't maximize the audience or the eyes that you have to turn into buys. But, at the end of the day, he's already in a space and has been in a space from being an athlete for so long that endorsements and, affiliate type of stuff is going to come to him, and even partnerships are going to come to him now, stuff like that, especially with the way NIL is and stuff like that. So he's not going to lose by far, but far as everything that he could gain from it, you got to really be an entrepreneur to be set up for stuff like this, for the actual win-win, where if you had your own products and services besides the cognac, because that's only a specific demographic that you're going to hit, because I don't even drink. So you can't sell me on nothing. You understand what I'm saying? It's just, do I want to watch this for entertainment or not? And I'm not really that, big on entertainment.
So, and that's kind of the place I go. So is the world better because they produced that episode?
Oh, it don't matter. Is the world better watching Beyonce?
I was
It don't
gonna say, it depends
matter.
on the value
that
put on. It depends on the value that's placed on entertainment. Like, am I better because of the entertainment I consume?
No, never. Like, I'm not better when I go to a football game. Like, that shit doesn't add value to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? None of this
It may
shit
bring you a
do
little bit of
really.
dopamine.
Yeah, but so does smoking crack. What the fuck is you talking about?
Talking about in the confines of the entertainment.
No,
Just stay in the entertainment.
Yo, bro, cookies give me dopamine.
I know cookies give you
Am
dopamine.
I going to be better after I
is
eat
dopamine?
all?
Okay, so that's the real question. Is dopamine, does that make you better? Yes or no?
It depends on where this
The
nigga
source.
always with the yes or no shit.
Does dopamine make you
yes
better?
Or no, yo, now Tootie be hitting me with the yes or no.
Tootie smart.
Tootie hits me with the yes or no,
Tootie
and the
smart.
thumb up and thumb down.
One of the
and
smartest
everything.
3-year or 4-year-olds I know.
Nah, so
Like,
listen,
yeah, that's it. That's what we're gonna start doing. Niggas, is this or is it this?
Yeah. So here's what I'm saying: is dopamine doesn't always have to come from an outside source.
I know
so
that.
it can be good for you.
Does it make you better?
It depends on the source that it comes from.
Does it?
Smoking crack gives you dopamine.
Does it?
It does not make you better. But waking up doing your affirmations gives you dopamine. Does it make you better? Absolutely.
All right, got it. All right. So dopamine, just dopamine itself doesn't necessarily make you better. You're saying the source has to come into play for sure. All right, I got that. I'll subscribe to that. But to your point, I don't know. I don't know if it makes the world better. But if I had to choose one, if I had to do a thumbs up or thumbs down, I'd probably say thumbs down.
But if it was education, would it have 40 million views?
No, not at all.
If it wasn't exploiting, airing dirty laundry, would it have 40 million views?
No,
Probably not. No.
probably not.
So why are we drawn to that content instead of content that's going to make us better?
Because it's easier. It's easier to vibrate low compared to vibrating high. It's harder for me to vibrate high. Like, I was hangry yesterday. It was easy to just rest in that hangry because all the conditions said be hangry, versus fighting past the hangry and still vibrating higher. It's just easy.
So how do we get conditioned to the space where we want to vibrate low, or is it just we're lazy as a race?
I don't know if it's lazy. It's just easy. I don't know if it's if we're lazy as a race. A
Human race, just so people get.
Okay, I thought you meant colored people.
Human race.
No, it's everybody. It's the whole world.
Yeah, it's conditioning. It's like if you're conditioned to be, I tell my daughter all the time, you're gonna be working for the Japanese because their education system compared to our education system and what they're conditioned to, do every single day and believe every single day is totally different from what we're conditioned to do and believe. So I think it's conditioning. A lot of it is conditioning.
But how do we get there?
Get to where?
That we're conditioned to be this way.
Because of entrepreneurs.
If entrepreneurs are valuing entertainment over education, they're in trouble.
They're valuing. First of all, the entrepreneurs valuing the money. The people that are the powers that be are valuing the money. From a subjective,
the producers are for creating it for the consumers.
Everybody. So whatever is hot right now. So popular culture is run by people who value the money, and whatever is going to get the most from the low hanging fruit because the numbers. Then we just follow the herd. Like from a subjective standpoint, I want you to just think about individuals, right? I want you to think about how many people actually choose education over entertainment. And people don't really do that on a regular basis. So there's more people that want to consume entertainment versus education anyway. They're just conditioned to do that after school. Like once you get out of school, you're not, who picks up education anymore? Nobody. Like, you know what I mean? Like people don't read books. People don't, but they start to watch podcasts now because, they're there. People don't have audio like that. And the world is moving towards that now. But when I was doing that shit in 2012 and 13, like nobody even knew what I was doing. What are you watching? What are you listening to? What do you got going on? Like
weirdo.
You're
an alien. But, it's interesting. I heard somebody recently say they hadn't read a book since they got out of college or graduated from high school.
Bro.
Yeah.
What?
That's typical.
Bro, it's typical.
That's typical.
It's typical? Bro, just start asking people, what's the last thing you read? What's the last thing you got? Like women
what are you
might
reading
have a little book because they snuggle up with this shit every now and then, but ask a regular dude, dog.
What are you reading now? Yeah, just ask, what are you reading
now? Just do a little thing with the guys in the fucking workout group. Ask them.
Come on.
All right, you think it's a joke.
Why are you shocked by that? I mean, if you look at the conditions of the people, if you look at...
How do you improve your condition if you're not feeding yourself things that are going to improve your circumstance or your experience?
Bro, this information and you value it, the fact that education is the way that I can make a new way or make a better way. And without that, then I'm going to be relying on someone else's knowledge to put me in a better place. You have to go get the information. That lack of information is one of the reasons why we just get taken advantage of.
That's a part of it. The other thing I think too is exposure, right? So if you see a private jet on a video, a music video.
I was looking at a G700 last night, but go ahead.
But if you sit on a private jet, right, it's totally different. And then that makes you go, oh, people own these?
They do.
People fly in these all the time? So I'll never forget, I think I may have told the story before, but growing up, I was bused 30 minutes away from my house. And I used to, on the bus going to school, I passed this golf course in Wilmington. And so I was in elementary school. So I went to this school for 4 years, I think. And for 4 years, only rich people can go do that. Only rich people can. And then, I said, one day I want to play over there. Right. And so the day that I played over there, it was kind of a disappointment because it was a public course and it was $40 for the round. But my perception was, this is just for the rich people. Right. And so, but going past that golf course, every day for 4 years, it was like, man, I want to do that. So I think it's exposure too, right? Having exposure to certain things, because you can get comfortable in situations and circumstances and not only get comfortable, but get addicted to the situation and circumstance. So better is relative, right? So you say, well, man, don't you want to do better? And like what we're doing with Vericrypt, I'm having conversations that just frustrate the hell out of me because it's like why don't you get this? And it's easy for me to say that because at one point I may have been the same way or similar, but I went and did a Vericrypt event before, and I sat in there, and then I know what that cost $6,000 or $8,000, but I came out in 10x that $6,000 or $8,000 with just one idea, and so I'm just and I'm trying to explain that, but it's oftentimes it's falling on deaf ear. L says I'm just talking to the wrong people. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we had that conversation a few weeks back about leading a horse to water and whether or not you actually want to spend the time trying to convince people that they need the thing.
The salt.
And
the salt is the information, so they can get the exposure, so they can actually be in a room to see it. So,
but they have to. Everybody has to do their part. I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to pour into you. What's crazy is some of the people I'm talking to in that conversation, I pour into them.
Yeah, absolutely.
To benefit what they're working on, right?
Yeah, but they just don't believe that that's probably worth the amount that's going to be, the dues that have to be paid to actually stay in the room.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's, me and Jerome were talking before, and he was like, I'm just going to have to I need you to stop doing some of the things that you're doing for free.
Yeah.
So that right there changed the perception of what they were getting, the value of what they were getting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I went back and looked at what was going on in the gym and all the things that I was doing, I just looked at everything that added value to people, and I just started extracting that and cutting back from that, and now putting a price on that. And yes, a lot of people fell back and stuff like that, but
but they come back. They always come back.
We don't want them. The weeding out, the purging process is necessary, because just take me for instance. I wake up in the morning. It's just 2:00 in the morning. I got to go, and I'm going to train over 100 people before 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to motivational speak. I'm going to mentor. So I'm going to see about 200-300 people, in the course of the day. My energy is sacred. Like, it literally has to be guarded. So with this process, I get a chance to actually weed out who gets poured into and who doesn't, who I waste my energy on and who, I conserve it for. So with this now allows me to separate the people that are primed to, actually receive the information.
And grow it, right? Because you're planting seeds. It's an investment. Each person that you come in contact with is better because of the encounter with you. And if you're putting seed in soil that's not fertile, then you're wasting that.
Absolutely.
Right? You're being a poor steward of the gift. And I think it's admirable. The thing that I also notice is a lot of people who get things for free and then it's taken away from them.
Absolutely.
They fall away, and then they see the progress and they don't want to be left behind. And so then they adjust and they come back.
If they valued what they were getting for free.
And if they are no longer comfortable with the gains that they've been getting without the mentorship, without
or lack thereof gains.
Right.
Yeah, because the ego, I love the ego conversation. The ego comes in, it's like, oh, well, it wants you anyway. What did Dame and Jay-Z, they were talking about this. It's basically make another me, right?
Yeah.
Right. He's like, no, I made you. It's like, all right, we'll make another one. He didn't do it, right? I mean, he's tried and he's tried on his own, but like it didn't happen. And so people will come back and be like, man, your impact wasn't that big. Okay, well, go off and be great.
Right.
And then when they're in the same spot they were when you left them, but they continue to see your separation, they continue to see the elevation, then they got a decision to make. They're either going to sit in that ego and I don't need you, or they're going to reattach, because there's one thing that didn't change, and that was you.
Yeah.
Right. And I just watched so many people just live in this world of, ooh, I'm beholden to the people that came to me when I was at this place. And I've continued to work on myself. I continue to cultivate. I continue to invest in myself. I continue to develop while they're just good doing what they were doing when we met.
Right.
And now you've grown into this person that's here. I am this versus I was that. And they're still stuck on I was.
Yeah.
And, they want the old Hov back. Yeah. But he's gone, man. Like, that guy's gone. Especially after the 3-day fast, because autophagy.
Yeah. That's real stuff, though. Like, so I'm not even the same person as I was, 3 days ago. So, you talking about new year, like we're really doing the things that we need to do for a new you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't do those things, so there's nothing new for them but the date on the calendar.
But did you actually explain your frustration with some of the conversations you're having with people who see Vericrip, and some people might not know what Vericrip is, so maybe we got to go back in that, but see Vericrip and then don't immediately take advantage of the opportunity?
So you want to explain it real quick what Vericrip is for any new watchers or any new?
You explained it beautifully last time.
So, Vericrip is just a mastermind group basically that we've created just so that we can start to use what we do to help other people tap into their hidden potential and their hidden gifts. Hence the name. It's a Latin word and it breaks down basically to, vera and crypt, meaning, hidden potential or hidden gift. And people live their whole entire lives and they go through this whole, their prime, and they never get a chance to like pull their gifts out, never get a chance to display them to the world where, God has placed something inside of you and, the world actually needs it. And sometimes we don't know how to do that digging, and you got to get around people who have the picks and shovels, and you got to be willing to do the work. And, after you get the picks and shovels, which is the information, so you got to be exposed to it. You got to get around the people who, have the tools, and, you start building things, as you pull those things out. So that's what we want to do. We want to get all the movers and shakers in one room and pull those gifts out, those tools out, those resources out, put them all on one table, and we all build some things together. And I think it's going to be super dope to have some people like us all in one room, all in one space, all on one accord. And we start to practice group economics, and we start to just, go after some of the opportunities that have been presented to maybe just one of us, but we bring it back to, a group of 15 or 20 of us. And we just start pulling the trigger and smashing stuff.
Stronger together.
Crypt, is basically in a nutshell going to be all about, but allowing people to help be the best of them that they could possibly be, and being connected to, guys like you and me.
I think it makes a big difference. My life's better because you two guys are in it. Doing life together with people who have high standards and big integrity is a game changer, because I don't think it's a status quo. I don't think it's a standard. I think people expect you to be laid and not honor your word and not follow through on commitments. But I don't ever worry about that.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I think that I heard someone say it is impossible for you to work on something that you don't really believe in, you truly believe in. So that might be.
So you don't believe in yourself?
Yeah, they don't believe they can. I think they're limiting. Well, I know they're limiting thoughts. People have limiting thoughts about themselves, and the saying that you can't love somebody if you don't love yourself. Well, I don't think folks believe in them. If they don't believe in themselves, there's no way that they can. I don't care what they say they want or what they say they want to do. If they don't really believe in themselves, then if they doubt themselves, there's no way they can go work on something that will produce something beyond where they are right now.
I think a lot of people don't know the difference between spending and investing.
There's a big difference.
Yeah, but I just pick. People see a price and don't understand the difference between cost and value.
That's a middle class problem, right? Middle class and wealthy. Middle class look at the price, wealthy look at the value. And then compare what the investment is against the value to see if it makes sense.
Right, and that's why I told them that the people we were talking to was they weren't the audience. They don't even understand the difference between spending, which is a price, and the value they're going to get from it, which is, something totally different.
Yeah. So, we were talking about, having that group meet. I think that's what I was, without saying it the way you just said it, L, but that would solve that part in terms of helping people understand value, right? And then moving them upstream to, jumping into the value pool. But right now, you're right. It's like people don't get, they just see, and it's a lack mentality. And it's hard to.
But we're talking about less than $2,000 for VIP, and you're saying.
But if I've never invested in a stock, if I've never taken risk.
Oh yeah, they're not the right people. You're absolutely right.
You know what I'm saying? If I've never bought a stock, if I've never bought a bond or a mutual fund, or if I've never invested in anything, I've never taken a risk especially when it comes to my money, because you got God, number one, and then money, number two for most people, and then family, number three. Then they are likely not going to do that.
I just think on a basic level is that most people, if this is the cost and they cannot see an immediate return, then they have other priorities that they want to do with the money.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what it's about.
So at the risk of upsetting some pastors and preachers and ministers,
I could care less.
Have we delegated our professional and personal development to the church, where we walk in with no admission price and we can sit there and we can decide whether or not we'll tithe or give an offering?
People have delegated
Yes.
their lives.
Absolutely.
As a
the
culture?
church. Yeah, as a
Yes.
culture. Especially Black people. 100%.
Is that a winning formula?
I'm speaking from experience. I have a really good friend, and at one point in time, he and I we went to the same church, and we gave a lot of money, a lot. I remember
You
one
gave
year,
you 10%?
Nah, I gave more than 10%. 10% was the C. You know, we were grading it. That was a C. That was what you're supposed to do. But a lot of money. I mean, I remember using TurboTax one time, and TurboTax on the contributions, TurboTax was like, "Are you sure? Yeah, question it." And so that was in the 90s, right? I mean, giving lots and lots of money, which I didn't have a problem doing, and because I just believe that's partly why I'm where I am today. But not too long ago, you know, he said to me, and when that was going on, he said, like, yeah, my friends were laughing at me, right? And so not too long ago, he said, man, I should have been putting that money in my 401k. You should have been investing putting that money in. Yeah, right. And so, but you know, but anyway, I'll just leave that at that. So our Black people's lives have been, you know, pretty much dictated by, you know, events on Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock.
Where you kind of participate, it's a monologue, and there really is no expectation of application or implementation.
No, zero. And definitely no accountability other than let's make sure pastor don't see me, or somebody don't see me at the club, or somebody don't see me coming out the liquor store, or somebody don't. That's the only accountability.
So, but this is the programming y'all talked about earlier, right?
100%.
That
Yeah,
has led us to this place.
Yeah,
and so
conditioning.
when we look, and you dropped a stat on me, you were saying like 16% of Black men make over $100,000 a year or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think it was on you and what's the name of you and Wendy's new podcast?
Love Unfiltered.
Love Unfiltered. That was on the last episode of Love Unfiltered too. You brought it up, but it's like, well, how do you improve your position if you don't invest in the education? Like,
It's only one answer is personal development. That's it. It's only one answer.
That's the truth. But the bigger issue is improvement is relative.
Okay.
Like, how do I improve my position? At one point in time, $35,000 a year was like
Balling.
I'm good. If I improve it, okay, I can improve it to 40. Okay, yes, right. 6 figures, 7 figures. That was like that wasn't even like that wasn't a thing. My thing was like, hey, I'm doing great. I got my 3-bedroom house that cost my first house that cost me $95,000. I did sweat equity. That was a part of the down payment. I'm doing great. I had a brand new Honda Sonata. I had a older Hyundai Excel. I live in a nice neighborhood. Why do I need to improve? So
why did
I was there?
Why did you need to improve?
Because I got let me tell you why. let me help you with like my mindset, right? So first of all, it was a huge mindset shift. So my first job, I worked at a bank where I was responsible for electronic payments, right? Which meant I had to balance electronic payments for Fortune 500 companies where we sent out the debits and the.
You started seeing.
I had to balance $4 billion a night.
You started seeing some zeros.
So it got to a point where, initially $4 billion was like, oh my God. But after a while, $4 billion is like, we're off 100,000. We got to find out. We're off 2 million. We got to figure out.
You got numb.
I got numb to that. Right. Yeah. And then I went to another world where I, as a financial advisor, wealth manager, I saw people with, millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And I saw people get ticked off because $2 was missing on a statement, or didn't make sense on a statement that was worth 100 million. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, okay, I'm doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm doing something wrong. So for me, again, it was exposure and being around, being in certain environments and having certain experiences.
Well, yeah, I still think the exposure is important, but if we don't have the actual information, then we never believe that. So there's some stuff out there, that age-old quotes. They say your professional career will never exceed your personal development. There's one that says if you work harder on yourself than you do on your job,
you're skipping over your decision to improve yourself, because there's no reason for you to be where you are right now, just statistically speaking.
Yeah.
You made a decision too while you were still.
No, I agree with you, L. Right. But I'm just saying the initial thing was the exposure that forced me to go look for the personal development.
So what I'm saying is I think it was the other way around, because once you got introduced to what people were doing, which is exposure too, but you got the information of like, this is actually what goes on. So we like know what goes on in these like mastermind groups or the next level and stuff like that, and we're already exposed to it through the information that we get. Then we go to like really make it manifest by going to that place to get that more exposed, to learn on a visceral level. So once you touch it, once you see it, once you taste it, once you smell it, then it gets embedded in your subconscious mind or inside of your body, like where you need it to be to actually bring it out. So when you're going to go get a car, you go sit in it after you've made your mind up. But if you weren't exposed to the one that you wanted, like if you didn't get the information, you say, oh man, I think this is pretty dope. So that's exposure too. Then it's exposure on another level. And then now you start to get and you see around it, sit around it, it's going to come faster to you. But it's the same thing. We all saying the same thing, but people just don't understand how important personal development is. And that's the problem.
Because there's no reason in their mind to do personal development.
Well, it's just, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So they never had the information to change their mind.
They think they are fine. They think they are
absolutely
swell.
But from a conditioning standpoint, we were always in the field.
Yeah.
So here's just generational now.
That's a whole nother pod, man. Talking about that whole trauma.
It's still the same
generational
thing.
trauma.
So once you gave us a job, so all the people we're talking to, they're salary based. They still have jobs. That means they are secured by their regular income. And they're waiting for a raise, or they're waiting for a promotion.
Somebody else to say that they can have more money.
A position to come open before they can even apply for it. But are they going to be ready for that? So that's what you got to tap in now to actually hone the skills, hone the characteristics, hone the traits, right? Through your potential that is untapped. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
So, I mean, if we take this all the way back to Club Shay Shay, right? The wave is coming. Are you ready to take advantage of it?
He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
I mean, I guess the cognac sold out, but I don't think he actually got what he could get off.
Right, he's not going to maximize it, but he's going to make enough to where people are still going to look up to him for that. Yeah. And as an entrepreneur, I'm like, yo, he got 2 million views, but he's not going to make what he's supposed to make off of that. And I know what raw look like when I see it.
And I'm not critical of him in any way, shape, or form, but I'm always looking for what somebody else knows that I don't know, or what somebody else didn't take advantage of, or harness that I didn't take advantage of. And so if there's an opportunity coming, if 2024 is truly the year of manifestation,
absolutely,
and you don't have the tools that you need in order to get yourself in the right space, and the tool can be something as simple as a vision, right? I'll never forget, and I was shaking my head earlier, I'll never forget being in California, and I go to lunch with a guy, and he was like, all right, Jerome, so I don't know if you know a lot about Rolls Royces, but this is a black badge Cullinan. The skin on the dashboard in front of you is Python, and you can only get it if you get this model. And then he pointed out a couple of other things. And it's funny because there's a video from Bedros Keuilian running around talking about how a Rolls Royce Ghost and a BMW are the same thing. Car. But none of the stuff that you touch inside the vehicle is the same thing, right? They're not made out of the same materials. The engine is not the same. The air ride suspension. So yeah, it might be made in the same plant, but it's not the same experience. And I just think a lot of people, it's kind of like the coach first class private conversation we were having a couple of weeks ago. Like if you haven't experienced it, it's easier to say, oh yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. I won't know the difference. You don't know the value of it. You can't even begin to understand it. And people are trying to fool other people and saying, oh, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Right. I don't
that's
need
all they
that.
doing over there. Yeah.
That's it. There's nothing special about that. And I'm not that. My ego's not that big, bro. I see people flying private. I was on a jet and the guy handed me a $550,000 watch. And I'm just like, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, he's explaining, hey, this has more pieces in it than your average automobile and this, and this. And the average person is like, yo, that's more than my house.
Yeah.
Right. Like, why would you walk around with that on your wrist? But for them, it's bringing down what a lot of money is. And it's all relative. It's all comparative. And so, why would you want to get better? Because it's available to you.
Yeah.
And I just believe so many people are out there don't believe that it's available to them. They believe that this is what they have and that's all they're going to have and they're doing better than the people around them and that feels good. And those are the people that are this Veracrypt is for.
Yeah, so it's
if
a matter
you're at
of
the
filtering.
top of your friend group, if you're not inspired by the people that are around you, we want to see you in the room.
There are two thought trains, right? So when you got handed a $500,000 watch, like one thought is, man, what do I have to do to be able to, if I want to get one or not, what do I have to do? Who do I have to be?
Who do I have to become
to get that? And the other train of thought is, I'll never be able to do that.
Yeah.
And so I think, I know I've had conversations with people that have been like, I'll never be able to do that.
God bless.
So, yeah.
You can fight for your limitations or you can fight for your future.
Still a fight, right? I got to go, man. I got to get out of here. Got stuff to do.
Hey, then we grow.
Got stuff to do, man.
You know what it is? Take us out.
He about to break the fast.
I got stuff to do now. He told you what. He told us this morning what he did. He
doing his refeeding process.
He did the trick. Yeah, he did the trick.
He gonna do some broth.
Man, I wish, man. He got an hour. I got 5.5
one whole hour.
I got 5.5 hours. We just want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. Thank you for being.
You want to thank.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I don't care what this dude says.
I looked at the analytics.
Thank you for liking. Thank you for.
If there's new people, I thank you.
The people that have tuned in, thank you for tuning in, for sharing, for liking, and for giving us blessings and support. We appreciate that.
Bless you.
Thank you so much, man. We are out of here. Another episode of the Endgame Podcast. I'm Rod Brown.
I'm Lynch Hunt.
I'm Jerome Myers.
Peace
out.
Man.